what's up everyone? Daniel Kaiser here at E3 2017 in the Xbox booth, hanging out now with Mike Chapman, who is the design director on Sea of Thieves. Mike, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on a big show for Sea of Thieves.
Oh, thanks a lot. I mean, it was, having the game here, getting it into real players' hands, like that's what kind of makes all the difference. It was so cool to kind of show off all the new features in a new gameplay trailer, things like the storms, things like the riddle quest, but it's just great for people to get hands-on time with the game. I think that's when Sea of Thieves and the magic of the game really clicks for people.
Yeah, talk about that magic of the game, because what I've heard and seen online is people saying, really, until you play this and play it with friends, you don't really truly understand what the game is all about.
Yeah, I mean, Sea of Thieves for us is, what we passionately believe is that it is the pirate game you've always wanted. When you think about like the allure of pirates and the romance of pirates, it appeals to so many people because, we've grown up reading books like Treasure Island, where it's not just about being on a pirate ship, it's about having adventures on an island, exploring pirate caves, digging up buried treasure. The tone and the humour of a game like Monkey Island, if you're old enough, there's such a love for that game series, and, I guess more recently, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, like, these great movies where nautical legends come to life in this fantastical world. So Sea of Thieves is all about pirate fantasy. It allows players to craft their pirate legend. But the cool thing is you get to share it with friends. You've got this epic pirate world. You can go out there on this ship, have these fantastic, memorable adventures where the game plays differently each time. But the true magic of Sea of Thieves, the thing that makes it so different, the thing that we're all so passionate about, is that it happens in a shared world. So when you're out there and you're having these adventures with your friends, when you see a ship on the horizon, you know that's another crew of real players. And they're out there doing their own thing. They're out there crafting their own legends. They're having parallel adventures to yours. And like the amazing possibilities that can happen when the crews meet in the world, it's so magic and it's so different. It ensures that the game is fun and refreshing every time you play.
Sounds just like that. And so when I boot up with my crew, how am I incentivized to do one thing after the other? Are there quests that we fulfill, or how does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the big difference in Sea of Thieves versus to what we're showing so far is that you won't start with quests. Like, on the show floor, we start players with quests, but ultimately, players are going to be progressing in the game. Players are going to be crafting their pirate legend. So, in a game like ours, where it's this rich pirate world, and we've talked about that pirate fantasy, there's going to be a whole range of play styles. It's not just about treasure hunting. So, you have a choice to craft your reputation in the area that appeals to you. Think of, what would it be to be a legendary pirate? You're going to be good with a pistol, good with a blade, good navigator, a good treasure hunter. You're good at working with a crew. You can craft the reputation, the area that appeals to you. And based on that reputation, you're going to get access to better quests, access to better voyages, access to better things to customize your character. And when you come across other people in the world, like the way they present themselves, the way their character looks, is kind of a reflection of that reputation. So when you meet each other in the world, you've got that great icebreaker of, oh man, like that's a really cool outfit. Where'd you get that from? I've been doing voyages for these guys, and I've got a reputation with these guys. It's that's the kind of what's special about a game. It's not just like a linear progression system. You can kind of choose to play where you want to play.
Talked a little bit about the look of the game, which is beautiful, by the way.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about how that came about. Did you land on that art style right away, or did you iterate for a while before you landed on it?
Yeah. I think what's so cool about not doing dry historical pirates is that because it is a pirate fantasy world, we can wrap it in this beautiful art style. So, I mean, funnily enough, the art director who worked on Viva Pinata, if you remember that game,
of course,
that really bold visual style, still timeless, still looks great today. I mean, he was hard at work on Sea of Thieves to define that visual look with our great team of artists. We really want a game that has that timeless art style. It's still going to look great in years to come. And at the same time, we want to create this immersive pirate world where it's really inviting to a lot of players. You see the beautiful water lapping against the beach. You see these beautiful sunsets and storms on the horizon, and it just evokes those feelings of adventure. You just want to step into this world and just get lost in it.
It's an ambitious and beautiful game. Talk a little bit about how Unreal Engine has helped your team bring this project to where it is now.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about, we've talked about the beautiful art style, the fidelity of the game, and also the shared world ambitions, the fact that, this is a world that's occupied by multiple players, multiple crews of players. I mean, technically, we're doing really ambitious stuff. So, to work in an engine like Unreal, that's kind of unlocking. It's kind of, all these ideas and these ambitions that we have, Unreal's there, to unlock, all this magic and execute on it. So, even though we've got this timeless art style, you know, you've still got that beautiful looking water. It looks absolutely incredible. You know, a team, you know, got to grips with Unreal, doing some beautiful work there. The storms, obviously, you know, and the fact you're just in this epic pirate world. I mean, you know, I guess that's a beauty with working in an engine like Unreal.
Fantastic. So when people are putting down the controller here, what are you hearing them say? I mean, this is their opportunity to get their hands on it for the first time. What are the reactions been like here at E3?
I think, like, typically it normally ends with like people just laughing. I mean, we always have the loudest booth at the show, where people are like kind of laughing, they're clapping. You know, even when they're screwing up, even when they're losing their ship, even when they're firing themselves at cannons and they're missing, people are still having a fun time. You know, it's playful. You know, we've got all these delightful and these joyful mechanics, and you know, it's just a game where you can truly play. You know, you're in this pirate fantasy world, and you're having these great adventures, and you're playing musical instruments, you're firing yourself at cannons, you're drinking grog, you're going on these epic adventures. It's just this great world, and people are just having an absolute blast playing it.
Fantastic. All right, so remind everybody when the game is coming out.
So the game is coming out in early 2018. But the cool thing is that everyone can sign up and have a chance to play the game now. We've already got a community of players who are playing the game at home. So all the great content that we showed up in a gameplay trailer that people are getting hands-on time with at the booth, like there's already players at home playing all that content now. We've already got an ever-expanding community. And as we run to that release in early 2018, we're going to be doing more and more playtests because we want to evolve this game with our community. And our community is falling in love with the game. So if you go to seaofthieves.com/insider, you can sign up to have a chance to play the game. And you know, we actually announced earlier in the week that everyone who signs up to be an insider, we guarantee that those players will have a chance to play before the release of the game. So you've got nothing to lose. Come join us, come aboard with us and have a great time.
Fantastic. Last question. Are the characters going to eat bananas whole in the game properly like they did in the trailer? What was up with that?
Like, it's a fantasy world, and like the thing we're always going for is it's believable but not necessarily realistic. This is a world where you fire yourself at cannons, you know, you can fire blunderbusses underwater. We don't want to get in the way of players having fun. So, you know, we don't want to take ourselves too seriously. That's their whole thing. It's just a game where it's just completely playful.
All right, well, it's been fun talking with you. I appreciate your time and information. For the latest on all things Unreal Engine, you can head online to unrealengine.com.